Are you like the mini pre-meds who are still waiting to hear back from medical schools this cycle? Or did you just get that final email letting you know, hey, we're not considering you this year? I know that gut punch feeling, guys. I know it sucks, but here's the truth. Rejection is not the end of your journey unless you let it become the end of your journey. If you're serious about reapplying and getting in next cycle, I'm breaking down exactly what you need to do today to turn that rejection into the acceptance. So let's get it, let's go.
Today is the day, guys. You're going to take your future into your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. No excuses, just dominate.
All right, guys, Dr. Andre Pineset, the pre-med protein expert. And today we're talking about reapplying to medical school. What do you have to do when you think you're not getting in the cycle or when you've been rejected officially from the cycle? Again, your journey is not over, so we have to regroup and get it together. And the very first step is recognizing and accepting that, hey, I didn't get in this cycle, and then having that accountability to say, wait, I've got to step up and I've got to fix something, right? We cannot waste time pitting ourselves, having a pity party. And I know, I get it. You want to crawl into the bed, you want to binge watch that Netflix, right? You want to go all this political news going on right now and tell yourself that med school is a scam. Anyway, you didn't really want to become a doctor. You're just playing at it, right? No. The brutal honesty, guys, is feeling sorry for yourself will not get you any closer to wearing that white coat. And for so many students, guys, I see it. We hit that adversity and we quit on ourselves, and we quit before our greatest triumph. And for getting into medical school and becoming a doctor, the biggest hurdle, I tell everyone, the biggest hurdle is getting into medical school. Getting a residency is the most important step, but getting into medical school is the biggest hurdle. And for so many students, their journey ends there because they let it in there. They refuse to get out of that pity party. It didn't happen this year, but it can happen next year. I've got to take action. I got to get moving. I've seen too many students do that. On the flip side, the students who get in, they immediately sit down and say, listen, it didn't happen this cycle. And they shake it off. They let it go. They don't label themselves as a reject. And they start looking at themselves and saying, wait, what's my plan for getting accepted? I am an acceptable candidate. How do I show medical schools how great I am? And they get to work on that next step of the application. So step one, guys, is to accept that it happened, move on, and don't be anchored down by it, guys. You can still get in. The second step is to figure out what the issue is. Let's diagnose the problem. You guys are going to become doctors. Where's your diagnostic skills, right? We have to look at what is the pathology that I have to pull out of my application to get accepted. So step two is figuring out, why did you get rejected? And I know our first gut instinct is to say, listen, it's not my fault, it's the school. But the truth is something was wrong with your application. When it comes to your application and applying to medical school and why you got rejected, there's a couple things that it could be. There's 4 areas, and we got to figure out which of these 4 areas is your issue. The first thing is it your numbers? The GPA and the MCAT. These are the first things that med schools are weeding students out on. If you don't have the numbers, the truth, if you don't have the numbers, nobody cares about anything else. You got to get the numbers strong, guys. I wish it wasn't that way, but that's the way med school admissions works. So what is up with your numbers? Is your GPA where it needs to be? Is it in the 3s? Is it in the high 3s, even better? Where's your GPA? Where's your MCAT? Is it in above 505? Is it above 510, even better? Are your numbers right to be able to apply and get accepted? The second thing that could be wrong is your pre-med accomplishments. Is there big gaping holes in your extracurriculars? Do you not have clinical experience? Do you not have a letter of recommendation from that clinical experience? Do you not have something scholarly in your repertoire where you tutored, where you did research, something like that? Do you not have a breadth of experiences that show your true character and show what you're passionate about and that you can make a difference and that you're an impact maker? So what does your pre-med profile look like? The third thing is okay, wait, maybe the numbers are good. Maybe you did all the stuff you're supposed to do as an undergrad, a student, as a pre-med, but how effectively did you take what you've done and translate that into an effective story in your application? Because that's the key, right? An application is marketing yourself, is showing and telling your story and bringing together all of these stray extracurriculars to make them fit a narrative that shows medical schools what I call your future doctor narrative. This is where I am, this is where I've been, this is where I want to go to become a doctor. How did you weave your story? How did you put your application together? Was there effective writing? Did you give your whys? Did you show your impact? If you didn't do a good job of articulating how awesome you are, it's going to be a problem. I see this all the time. And I'm going to take a second and harp on this because it's the number one thing that I see. I mean, I see a lot of numbers issues, but when you actually get into it, you're like, man, what's wrong with my application? I know it's great stuff. I see so many students who fall short on the storytelling marketing aspect. And the reason this is such a hard thing for so many pre-meds is because we're used to being the humble servant pre-med, right? Where we're sacrificing ourselves. Oh, never talk about me. I just want to go through and help patients and give of myself. And we say all these things, and we don't have the ability to effectively highlight ourselves and to brag in a warm way to medical schools to show them we're awesome. This is the time, guys. You have to change how you look at yourself. This is my time to step up, to brag on myself, to show them all of my glory because I'm competing against all these other great candidates. I have to be proud of myself. I have to speak with confidence, and I have to adequately and accurately tell my story. And if you fail to do that, guys, you're going to have a tough time. And in my application course, I walk students through, I change that psychology to say, listen, no, be proud of what you've done. And then let's figure out ways that we can implicitly, so not explicitly, implicitly persuade them. Meaning we're going to brag about ourselves. We're going to keep it low key in a way where they're just like, wow, that's amazing. It doesn't feel like bragging. It just feels like, wow, this guy's an awesome guy. I want him in medical school. I teach it in my application course. So if you're struggling with that aspect, please make sure you check out my application course on my website. The fourth thing that can go wrong is your strategy. So you've done all the pre-med stuff, your numbers are tight, you've written a great application, but what is your application strategy in terms of which schools are you applying to? How early did you apply? And then how effectively did you target each school in the secondary? So the strategy portion of the application. Were you strategic in your interviews and how you went about the interview and talking about yourself effectively? Those are the 4 areas where something can go wrong. Now that we figure out what the issue is, we have to come up with a plan to fix it. And for some of these things, it's actually going back and repairing a GPA. It's going back and restudying for the MCAT. Maybe it's going and building up your extracurriculars. Maybe it's just retelling your story and repositing your application and submitting that. And then the fourth thing is maybe it's your strategy. Maybe you just need to take the same application and then just apply differently to schools that you're competitive with, and you'll get in. A lot of students are just like, oh, I'm not sure why I didn't get in. I'm just going to reapply. No. It's not about guessing, guys. Don't leave your future up to chance. Look at the data, see what feedback you can get from an expert. I prefer experts because people who get into medical school, the sad truth is that many of them got in and they execute it for themselves, but they don't know how to get other people in. They don't know the specific things that got them in or got them over the hump. And so they may be leading you astray. So find a real expert, someone who knows the process, whether it's a dean of admissions, whether it's a school that rejects you, whatever, get some meaningful feedback about your application. And with that being said, unless you're going with someone who's a true expert like myself, or someone you know who's been vetted, who sees applications all the time and actually helps students compose applications, you want to have a quorum of feedback about your application. Meaning what one person says, don't take it to the bank. Get 1, 2, 3, 4 people to look at it and see what the consensus is, issues that 3 of the 4 identify are wrong with your application that are commonalities between them, and then go with those and target those to shape up your application. It's too easy for some people to have biases or deficits, and then you get misled by one piece of feedback. So get multiple pieces of feedback, unless it's from someone who's a true expert like me. I can pin it down. I see so many applications. I put together so many applications, right, for over a decade. I can pinpoint, no, that's the issue. Let's fix that and tighten it up and do it this way. As I say that, the caveat to that is that because there are so many applicants that apply every year, and because there is no shame around reapplying and applying when you aren't prepared, you have a lot of students who are driving up the numbers of applications every year, and medical schools are not keeping up with that supply of applications by increasing the number of reviewers. And so there are some very, very rare times where your application was not accepted, not because you aren't acceptable, but because they didn't get your application because they had so many applications, they just didn't see it. But that's a very rare situation. So what I want you guys to do is, we acknowledge that that does happen sometimes, but let's really be real about it and say, listen, that's probably not us. What are the things that we can tweak, we can change to make our application better? So step 1, we have to accept what has happened. We shrug it off, right? And we say, okay, listen, we're going to work on it. We're going to move forward. How be paralyzed. Step 2 is we say, okay, now we're going to move forward. How do we move forward? What is the issue? What do we have to target?
That's it for another episode of the Premed Productivity Podcast. Show your love by smashing the like button and commenting in the box below. Today is the day, guys. No more excuses, no more complaining. You're going to take your future into your own hands. You're going to dominate. You're going to be successful. I challenge you. What are you going to do today to make your life better? Get to my website, premedproductivity.com. Grab a free ebook, sign up for a free webinar, and if you're really ready to transform, enroll in one of my life-changing courses or coaching programs. You have greatness inside you. Let me show you how to unlock it so you can dominate and make your dreams a reality. No excuses, just dominate.